I got the moves. I got the moves. I'm making moves. You gotta move. You gotta make the city move. Like, whoa. I make the city move. I got the move.
Over the last few weeks, we've seen many videos of NBA players participating in open gym runs, having little pickup games against other NBA talents. But no other video has taken the NBA world by storm quite like the one involving Devin Booker, particularly the part where he gets double teamed and complains afterwards about it. I'm sure you've all seen the clip before, and now due to this clip going somewhat viral, there's a lot of talk about Devin Booker and if he's actually all that good. So in today's video, I'm going to be analysing Devin Booker, looking at his strengths and weaknesses, what I think he can achieve in the NBA, and his NBA comparison. As well as that, I'm looking at the arguments for whether he is overrated or not, then giving you guys my opinion on it, as this is also a trending topic right now. Before we start, overrated does not mean in any way a player is bad, it just means they are not as good as they are made out to be, so before you dislike, keep that in mind. Anyway, if you're new here and enjoyed the video, be sure to subscribe for more NBA content. But with that being said, let's get right into this video. Devin Booker continued to prove why he's one of the league's best scorers last season, averaging close to 27 points per game in 35 minutes of action. He shot well, around 46% from the field, but he wasn't great from behind the arc, a poor 32%. Still, with that said, Booker is by far the best young scorer in the league. However, his team, the Phoenix Suns, have been absolutely awful these last couple of years, and I personally don't think anything will change after this offseason. A lot of people are calling Booker's stats empty due to his lack of team wins, and if the Suns continue in turmoil, many believe a trade request is imminent. It'll be an interesting upcoming season for the Suns and Booker, so we'll see how things unfold. With all that being said though, let's move on to the next part of this video, the strengths and weaknesses of Devin Booker. Let's start with his strengths. The first one is very obvious, and I've already mentioned it a couple times already in this video, and that's Booker's elite ability to score the ball. Booker is by far the league's best young scorer. He's averaged over 20 points per game his entire career, excluding his rookie season. It's always been improving too. He averaged 13 in his rookie year, which jumped to 22 the next, then 24, then 26, which is amazing. He's even had one of the greatest scoring performances of all time, dropping 70 points in a single game, which is incredible. No one as young as him has done what he's done, and he's one of the league's best in this part of the game. Another positive in Booker's game is his shot creation. Booker would not be as elite as he is in scoring the ball if he was unable to create opportunities for himself like he does. He can ISO and make space for a solid mid-range shot and get in spaces in the defense and get easy layups. Again, there's a reason why he averages 26 a game, and it's not because he feeds off his teammates often. A lot of his points come from his own movement, ball handling, and generation. But like any other player, Booker has weaknesses too. Here are the ones that stand out the most to me. The first one is defense. Devin Booker is a terrible defender, below league average. He seems to get disinterested and plays very lazily on this end. If he wants to be known as an overall good player, he really needs to step up on his defense, otherwise people will say he's great on offense but a complete liability on the other end. His defensive plus minus is negative 2.3. That is not a good look, so again, he really needs to improve this part of his game. The final problem I have with Devin Booker is his turnover rate, which is unfortunately very high. Last season, he averaged over 4 turnovers per game, which is just horrible. In fact, he was third in the league in turnovers per game, behind only James Harden and Russell Westbrook, which is not something to hang your hat on. I get he's got a high usage rate, he runs the Suns offense, but 4 turnovers per game is just terrible. He really needs to cut it down if he wants to be a positive influence on his team. So, how good can Devin Booker be? What will he be like at the peak of his prime? In my opinion, I see Booker definitely becoming an all-star, probably within the next couple of years, but I don't see him going much further than that. He's not someone I believe that can go on to win elusive individual awards. At best, he could become a scoring champ maybe once or twice, but nothing like an MVP. He'll probably reach the third tier all-star lists, make a couple of all-NBA teams throughout the 2020s, but that's about it. He's a great scorer and his stats are very good, there's no doubt about that, but I don't think he can impact a team so heavily with those stats. He's not going to lead a team to contention. We've seen it a lot already in Phoenix. For his NBA comparison, it's kind of hard. He's pretty unique and it's quite difficult to pinpoint a player he is very similar to. If I had to choose anyone though, I'd say he's probably closer to Eric Gordon than anyone else. He's also got some Carmelo Anthony tendencies too. He's basically a pure scorer. But again, Eric Gordon is probably the most similar guy I can think of to compare him to. And if I'm being honest, if he wants to win a ring, he may need to take an Eric Gordon role. As I say that, let's move on to the final part of this video, the discussion on Devin Booker and whether he's overrated. A lot of people are saying his stats on Phoenix are empty, he can't positively impact the team, all of that, so let's take a look at whether he does or not. Firstly, I do think his stats are somewhat empty and a bit inflated. Let's be real here, Booker isn't all that impactful to his team when we're talking about wins. The Suns have continuously failed year after year, and some of that has to be blamed on Booker. I know the front office is pretty terrible. They've made a lot of bad moves these last few years, which has caused the team to have a weak roster, but if Booker was all that good, wouldn't he have taken them to over 30 wins at least once? Year after year, Booker fails to positively impact his team in a way where they start to win games. It's clear he wants to win, I'm not trying to doubt that, but I don't think Devin can be a franchise player on a contending team. I think if you place Booker on a title contending team, he would be most suited as the second or third option if they wish to win. He's a future all-star, there's no doubt about that, but I think if he stays as a first option, he's going to find very little team success. I do think he's good, a fantastic scorer, but his defense makes him a liability and he's very inconsistent and inefficient to be a first option on a contending team. I know he's young, I get he can still improve, all of that, but if the Suns don't start winning more games next season, if they fail to win 30 to 35 games or so again, it either proves Booker needs to leave or Booker is just not that good as a leader on a young team. It depends on how you look at it. So with all that being said, yes, I do believe Booker is slightly overrated for now. He and the Suns have a lot to prove this upcoming season. He needs to show us that what he does out there is meaningful and effective. And let me restate this. Overrated does not mean a player is bad, it means they are simply not as good as they are made out to be, and I think that suits Devin Booker pretty well right now. So overall, I see Devin Booker as a future all-star. He's one of the league's best scorers, even though he's still incredibly young. However, this upcoming season will tell us a lot about Booker and whether he's able to lead a team or whether he should maybe take a back seat somewhere else. No disrespect to Booker or anything, he's a phenomenal player, but he does need to take a leap in other areas rather than scoring if he wishes to become the superstar we all want him to be. But that will conclude the video. What do you guys think of this? How good is Devin Booker in your opinion? How good will he become in his prime? Do you think he's overrated? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to drop it a like and subscribe. But with that being said, I am out. Peace.